Well, dear learners, in this topic we will talk about another important concept called as trade agreements and treaties. Understanding trade agreements and treaties is essential for businesses and governments engaged in international trade. These agreements establish the framework for trade relations between countries, shape market access, and influence trade policies and regulations. Here's an overview of trade agreements and treaties. Now, what are trade agreements and treaties? Trade agreements and treaties are formal agreements between two or more countries that govern the terms and conditions of trade in goods, services, and investment. These agreements aim to promote economic cooperation, facilitate trade flows, and reduce barriers to trade and investment. Now, let's understand what are the types of trade agreements. There are basically three types of trade agreements. The first one is bilateral trade agreement. These are the agreements between two countries to facilitate trade and investment between them. Examples include free trade agreements, FTAs, and bilateral investment treaties, BITs. The next one is multilateral trade agreements. These are agreements involving multiple countries, often negotiated under the international organizations such as the WTO, which is the World Trade Organization. Examples include the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, GATT, and the Agreement on Trade-Related Aspects of Intellectual Property Rights, which is TRIPS. And the last one is regional trade agreements. These are agreements between countries within a specific geographic region or economic bloc. Examples include the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, the European Union, EU, and the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN. Now, since these agreements promote economic trade and benefits to multiple countries, let's understand what are the key provisions in such trade agreements. The first one is tariff reductions. Trade agreements typically involve the reduction or elimination of tariffs on imported goods, making products more competitive in foreign markets. Next one is non-tariff barriers. Here, agreements may address non-tariff barriers to trade, such as quotas, licensing requirements, and technical regulations to facilitate market access. Next one is rules of origin. Trade agreements establish rules of origin to determine the eligibility of goods for preferential treatment under the agreement. Goods must meet specific criteria to qualify for tariff concessions. Next one is trade facilitation. These agreements often include provisions to streamline customs procedures, simplify documentation requirements, and enhance trade facilitation measures to reduce trade costs and improve efficiency. The next one is services and investment. Many agreements cover trade in services and investment, liberalizing access to foreign markets for service providers and investors. The next one is intellectual property rights, which talks about agreements address intellectual property rights protection and enforcement, promoting innovation and creativity among trading partners. Again, the next one is dispute settlement, which talks about mechanisms for dispute resolution, which are established to address disputes arising from the interpretation or implementation of the agreement, ensuring compliance and enforcement. Finally, trade agreements and treaties offer various benefits to participating countries, including increased market access, expanded trade opportunities, enhanced economic growth and development, job creation, and improved competitiveness in global markets. Though it gives benefits to many countries, but there are also certain challenges in implementing those. Negotiating and implementing trade agreements can be complex and time-consuming, requiring consensus among participating countries and stakeholders. Challenges may arise from divergent interest, protectionist pressures, regulatory differences, and opposition from domestic industries. Understanding trade agreements and treaties enables businesses to leverage preferential trade arrangements, navigate regulatory requirements, and capitalize on market opportunities in foreign markets. It also provides governments with the tools to promote economic integration, foster cooperation, and address trade-related issues effectively on the international stage. Well, I hope you loved this concept. Stay tuned for another interesting concepts.